Hello class, welcome back. Today we're going to be learning about fractions and how to understand unit fractions. Our lesson objectives are: I can read, write, and identify unit fractions for halves, thirds, fourths, sixths, and eighths. And I can show fractions and wholes using fraction models. The first question we need to answer is, what is a fraction? A fraction represents equal parts of a whole or a collection. In this case, this orange is the whole. If I want to share it with another person, I have to cut it into two equal pieces. Remember, if we're sharing, we're trying to make a fair share, and we're trying to make sure that the two pieces are the same size. In this other case, this orange is not a fraction. I know that because the pieces are different sizes and even different shapes. So this is not a fraction. The same will happen with any whole that we have. For example, this cookie, same case. If we want to share it, we have to make sure that the two parts are equal in size, so this is a fair share. If the cookie is not split in two equal pieces, this will not be a fraction. Let's answer this new question. Which of these models represents a fraction, model A or model B? If you look carefully at the two pictures, we notice that in this circle we have two equal pieces. They are the same size and the same shape. But in the model B, we have four pieces too, but these have different sizes. Some of them are small, some of them are bigger. So model A represents a fraction. Let's look at the next model. Which of these models represent a fraction? In this case, model B represents a fraction because all the pieces have the same size, the same shape. But in model A, even though it has the same amount of pieces, which is 6, some of them are small and some of them are bigger. So model B represents the fraction. Let's remember the parts of a fraction. When you have a whole, you can cut it or split it into equal parts. In this case, we're going to split it in two equal parts. Now, the number 2 is representing the number of parts that you have that you cut your whole. That is called the denominator. One more time, the denominator shows the number of equal parts the whole is divided into. Now let's shade one of the parts, and that's going to be represented by the number 1 on top of the division line. This number is going to be called the numerator, and the numerator is going to show the number of equal parts of the whole that are shaded. In this case, it's 1/2. Now, remember, 1/2 could be read too as one piece out of two equal parts. So in this case, we can tell that 1/2 of the whole is shaded, and another half is not shaded, or 1 out of 2 equal parts are not shaded. The numerator is going to represent the part, and the denominator is going to represent the whole. Now let's divide the same whole into 4 equal parts. Now remember, to be a fraction, all of the parts have to have the same size. How many parts is our whole divided into? Into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts. And how do we call each part? When we shade 1, it's going to be called 1/4, or 1 out of 4 equal parts. How do we call the next part? Exactly the same. This is going to be another 4th, which is 1 out of 4 equal parts. And we're going to repeat the same for part number 3 and part number 4. All of them are 1/4, and all of them are 1 out of 4 equal parts. So we call each of these parts a unit fraction because all of them are one piece and they are equal. So how many fourths make up our whole? Well, we need 4 unit fractions or 4/4 to make one whole. So all of them together are going to make the whole. Now let's divide the whole into 8 equal parts. The same whole and now the same equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the parts our whole is divided is into 8 pieces. Now remember, if we shade one piece, it's going to be 1 out of the 8 pieces. And again, the numerator tells me how many are shaded, and in how many, the denominator, how many pieces are in my whole. So I have 8 pieces and only one is shaded. So 1 out of 8 equal parts is shaded. So what do you call all of the equal parts? All of them are going to be 1/8. Each of these parts is going to be called a unit fraction because all of them have the same size. And how many 8s make up for the whole? Well, if you color all of them, they're going to be 8 8s colored or shaded, and that's going to be the same as the whole. Now, if you have noticed, every time we keep on cutting the same whole into more pieces, the parts are becoming smaller and smaller. So remember, if you cut your whole into more pieces, the pieces are becoming smaller because the whole has still the same size and the parts are becoming smaller and smaller. Now the last part we're going to do is how do we read the fractional parts. The first one, if you notice, is a whole divided. One part is shaded out of 2. So this one is going to be called 1/2. The next one represents the same whole, but this time one part is shaded out of 3 pieces. That's going to be called 1/3. The same whole now is divided into 4 equal pieces. One of them is shaded, so it's going to be called 1/4 or 1/4. The next whole is cut into 6 equal pieces and one of them is shaded. So this fraction is called 1/6. And the last one, the same whole, is divided into 8 pieces and only one of them is shaded. So then the name of this fraction is going to be 1/8. And if you notice, the numerator stays the same, only one is shaded, but if you notice that the size of the numerator is becoming smaller and smaller. The denominator is changing. 2, even though it's the smallest number, has the biggest pieces. And as the denominator is changing and becoming bigger, the pieces are becoming smaller. Why? Because we have the same whole, and the more you cut it, the smaller the pieces get. I'm hoping this lesson help you understand fractions better. See you next time.